Hey everyone, this is Lukas Schwekendiek. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about a kind of a life philosophy, I suppose. And this is not necessarily my perspective, it's not necessarily the best perspective, it's just something to maybe get you to think about things in a slightly different way. And hopefully that allows you to just um, maybe not take things so seriously, maybe have a different perspective on life that just makes it better. So, what I want to talk about today is that nothing matters. Now, when you first hear this, because you hear this probably quite in quite a lot of places, it seems very dire. It seems very dark. And if you think about it, at least at first, it is quite dark, because that means no matter what you do, it won't matter. You'll still die, just as me, just as everybody else. Your memory will die eventually. Eventually, even this whole planet will die. Given enough time, the entire universe will probably cease to exist. And what you do now may echo for a few years, maybe for a few months, maybe for a few weeks. Maybe it'll echo for a few decades or centuries. But eventually, it'll cease. Eventually, what you do won't matter. Now, for a lot of us, this is mostly in the month, maybe year category. Very few things we do will be remembered in a decade from now, and very few a bit more things will only be remembered for a day or so. But very, very few people get to the point where the things they do will be remembered for centuries. And that sucks. That means no matter what we do, no matter how hard we work, no matter what kind of investment we put into things, activities, relationships, anything, it just won't matter. But, and there's two buts here. The first one is but that also means that there's nothing holding you back. Because that also means that the negative things won't matter. Given enough time, everybody will forget about all the embarrassing things you did. Will forget about every mistake you've made. Will forget about every failure you've had. And no matter how messy your life will be, no matter how often you screw things up, in the end, no one will remember. It won't matter. And in that light, you can do whatever you want because it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't make a difference. So if there's no objective difference to be found, then the only thing that matters is the subjective difference, what you want to do. It doesn't matter, but it matters to you. And that's my second point, is that subjectively, everything you do counts. And everything you do does ripple. So when you're thinking about just giving a smile to a stranger at a grocery store, that could have a butterfly effect where a stranger goes home happier. They'll yell at their family less or not at all. That gets their children to work harder on their schoolwork. They get a good grade for that particular schoolwork. This inspires them to work harder. This makes them become a doctor. This makes them, save the life of a future leader in the world. And that future leader might end up changing the entire world for the better. I'll just start with a simple smile that just rippled into multiple lives. And in that sense, we have that kind of responsibility because everything we do now matters for this moment. And that might ripple into eternity. Who knows? The person who invented the wheel, for instance, didn't know that suddenly all of these things that have wheels now would come from that. Same with the invention of fire. Same with all these other things. The person who put tiles on my roof has not thought that this would be of any importance, but it still rippled. I'm talking about this now. I have no idea who did that or when that happened, but it mattered. So what you do matters too, in a way. But what matters more is the emotions and the people around you. The love that you give to your partner and your friends. The success that you feel, the companionship you bring to your coworkers. Everything that you do has an impact. So in a way, nothing matters in the end, but everything matters in the moment. And that allows you to choose what to do much more. Because whatever you do choose can matter, and whatever you fail at won't matter. If you want to take a look at it that way, of course, you could do the reverse as well, but as we said, because in the end it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you look at it either. So you might as well look at it that way, right? It's a little bit paradoxical, but I hope this gives you some different take on things, and makes you see that you can kind of choose your life, and that whatever happens, happens. There's a great quote by Jim Carrey when he was doing the commencement address. I don't forget at which university, but he talked about his father and how his father kept working, and eventually he chose a safer route instead of the route that he wanted to take, and he still lost his job. And what Jim Carrey drew from that as a life lesson was that you can fail at something that you don't want, so you might as well try doing what you love. I think that's how the quote went. Right about that. And that's true. You can fail at everything. Nothing will matter. So you might as well just say screw it and do exactly what you want. Live the life that you want to live. Work for what you want to have. Because at least that will give you an amazing experience for while you're here. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this gave you some new insights, and I'll see you in the next video.